Alright, what's up everyone? My name is Caben Hansen. I am a private pilot with only about 100 hours under my belt, but I wanted to kind of start a little YouTube series here and maybe guide some people on how to get started with flying helicopters in today's world. It is 2024, it's August 1st at the time of this video, so some stuff like pricing, whatever, might change depending on when you watch this, whatever. But yeah, so how to get started with helicopter flight school in 2024. First things first, I kind of made this out of order, but because technically I could talk about getting a medical certificate, and you need that to get your student certificate, and you would use this SFAR 73. I'm pretty sure to do the discovery flight, but let's just say, for instance, you happen to get that taken care of. Well, I'm gonna go back over that in a minute, but equipment wise, what's something or some things that we would need to start? So whenever I started, I kind of went in blind and a little bit underprepared, I guess, because I kind of bought some of this stuff as I went along, and I think it would have been a bit more handy if I had them in the moment. So I'm gonna go through some of these. Duffel bag or backpack, really either one. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. Some people will call it like a flight bag. I have a few tabs pulled up here. If we go, this is Sporties. This is a website that they sell just about everything I'm going to be going over. Not sponsor or anything, obviously. This is a brand new channel. My first video, actually. So if you see this, hello, welcome, thanks for watching. So we're on Sporties Pilot Shop here. Look, right here off the main page, flight gear. Flight bags, knee boards, easy. It doesn't have to be this, it can just be like a normal backpack. Like, see what this guy's wearing? It can be like a school backpack. It doesn't matter, just something to carry stuff in. And they're going to show some other stuff too. But, yeah, definitely get a bag, a pack of some sort. Next, flight equipment. Knee board, headset, timer. My entire time going through training, I did not have my own headset. I was using the school's headset the entire time, which I kind of regret because I felt like it kind of looked irresponsible on my part. But you don't need a fancy headset. You know, there's some headsets out there that go for like well over $1,000, like Bose A20s, A30s, whatever. You do not need that. You know, they do have like Bluetooth capabilities, like connected to your phone and noise canceling. Look, that's great, that's cool, but it is definitely not necessary. Aviation is already expensive enough. Why spend more than you need to? Like here, if we go back to Sporties, like I bought my headset off Amazon for like $100, and it works perfect. Aviation headsets. Okay, these really aren't the best examples. Some of these are like ridiculously expensive. Okay, look, here we go. ASA, great brand. $139. That's a good price. You know, that is a realistic, reasonable price. And I think this one, I see 2 wires. So that would be for an airplane. That is one thing. There's a difference between airplane headsets and helicopter headsets. Funny enough, you can buy an adapter, but here, I'm going to open up and go to Amazon and just look up airplane to helicopter headset adapter. Boom. That's exactly what it looks like. Don't get this first one. That's for a helicopter headset to go into a plane. This is what you would want right here, because a helicopter only has one plug for your headset. So you plug your 2 for your airplane into these, and then it turns into 1, and you plug that into the helicopter. Yeah, it looks like this. It's just 1. I'm not familiar with this one, never had to use that, but this is what it will look like if you're flying an R-22. So just to kind of clarify that. Okay, a timer. Some helicopters that has it built in, and you can just use the one that's in the helicopter. My instructor, he recommended I just kind of get my own because you can use that and they'll never dox you for it. Like if I go back to Amazon, there's a specific one. I'm not sure if I'm going to find it like this. I might just be wasting time here. Have a timer that you can clip on to like a kneeboard or something. It's pretty useful. Pilot's logbook. Pretty sure you can get this on Sporties. Let's just look up. Logbook. Boom. It looks just like that. First flight logbook by Sporties. Like that's literally it. That's all you need. Dummy cheap, I guess. Well, I don't know. I would check the reviews maybe. I mean, you can find these on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. Pilot logbook. Yeah, this is a popular one. So is this one. I've seen people at school use this one too. I didn't realize they made them in different colors. It's kind of cool. But yeah, this is the one I had. 5 stars. Definitely get a logbook because you'll need that to log your hours. And that's kind of important because, you know, if you lose that book, now there's no evidence that you ever flew. Unless the school does their job and they keep it in their database as well. But still, it's always good to have your own record. Alright, next. Notebook, pens, pencils, sticky notes, highlighters. This is more so for studying. I say highlighters in all caps because holy cow. I was highlighting through a lot of these books. Very, very helpful in finding stuff that you should study and stuff that kinda you don't really need. I'm not gonna say you don't need to study it, but stuff that was relevant. For example, like just stuff for the private pilot's license. Being able to highlight certain things, like certain things in Part 91, Part 61, etc. There's some things you need and some that aren't quite as relevant for your private pilot's license. And I'm going to be making videos in the future kind of covering a lot of like things that should be studied, at least in my experience. And yeah, I hope y'all will stick around for that if y'all are looking at joining this fabulous world of rotor wings. So yeah, sticky notes helped me, highlighters helped me. The notebook, I literally filled a notebook from beginning to almost the very end. And yes, highly recommend everything right there. Far aim. What is the far aim with tabs? Okay, so I'm going to go back to Sporties. Sporties is just easy, man. Far aim. Boom, there it is. They already have the 2025 version out, and it's only August of 24. Not an expensive book, but this, if you don't know already, is going to be your Bible. This is your aviation Bible. This has all the regulations. Like, that's literally what FAR means. Federal Aviation Regulations and Airman's Information Manual. This has every rule that you need to fly legally. They come out with a new one each year, and usually they don't change a whole lot, but usually there's like a few different regulations or something in the information manual that kind of changes just a tiny bit. Especially like when drones started becoming a thing, a lot of drone rules had to get added, so that's just an example there. You will need that for sure. And tabs, I didn't really talk about tabs, but they can be helpful. Sometimes having too many tabs, if I look up FAR aim tabs, basically they're just tabs for your book that help you find things. You don't absolutely need these by any means. I kind of made the mistake of using every single tab that came with a kit, and I'm not going to say it made it harder to find things, but it was just kind of way too much information. Like, if you just go through the book, find what you need to find, at the very beginning of the FAR aim, it shows you what stuff to study. Like for private / recreational, if I had a camera, I would show it, but it shows everything in the book that pertains to getting your private pilot's license or your recreational pilot's license. There's remote pilot, flight engineer, instrument rating, CFI, etc., stuff like that. Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, or PHAK. So, I wonder if that works, typing it in here, PHAK. Hey, there it is. Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge. I don't think these get updated yearly. Like, look, this one says updated 2016. I think mine does say for use in 2023. It's not like the FAR/AIM. It has very good information, stuff that should be studied. It kind of just goes over a lot of theory. Well, not just theory, a lot of facts and theory about a lot of the stuff that you'll be learning in ground school. Here's a lot of stuff here that it goes over. Flying, ADM, construction, principles of flight, aerodynamics of flight, flight controls, systems, a lot of important stuff. Airspace, very important. All right, in our case, we're trying to be helicopter pilots. So, helicopter flying handbook. Cool. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So the helicopter flying handbook, it's going to talk about a lot of the fundamentals, as you would expect, to flying a helicopter. I would say a lot of the stuff in it. It's going to talk about aerodynamics for sure, theory of flight, and a lot of other good stuff. Definitely pick it up. You're going to read or learn a lot about what is in the beginning of flight school through that book. Like, I highly recommend it. Pick it up, read through it, so you're not behind the curve. Okay. Pilot's Operating Handbook, POH, is what they'll often refer to it as. In my case, I really only flew the R-44, but this goes for whatever you might be flying. Did I say 44? My bad. I only ever flew the R-22. Sorry, camera shy. R-44, Capri G2. I haven't seen these really used in training much. I think they're French helicopters. I don't know. My school, we use R-22 and R-44. To get a POH, you can do it the cheap way or the kind of expensive way. So up here in this tab, I have Robinson's website pulled up. You can go to publications, and then you can go down to whichever one you might be flying. R-22, look up R-22 POH. Now this is one method. This is the cheap method I'm showing you. Go to R-22 POH. And, sorry, Robinson's website is a little slow at times. So, this is absolutely everything in the POH. So you can click full book, and it will open. Come on. Whatever. You'll have to like go check that out on your own. It's just on Robinson's website. Remember, it's publications. Go down to your helicopter, so like R-44 series, R-22 series, and just click the POH. And basically what you can do is you can actually print all these pages out and put them in a binder. That's the cheap way. If you want something like this, like the actual POH, you can go to shop, go down to POHs and manuals. Basically, it'll show like different, okay, there we go. So here we go. You've got the maintenance manual, so we wouldn't want that. Illustrated parts catalog, manual binder, maintenance. Okay, not this one, because this is just the binder. You could get this and put all your printouts in it, which is fine. Me, being me, I went with this. It was just all right there. They've basically just done all the work for you. R-22 Pilot's Operating Handbook Print Edition. So you can keep this. It has absolutely everything. Highlight it to your heart's content with all the important info. It's all important, but there are definitely parts of it that are more important than others. I guess it's, yeah, click it, you just get a picture. But yeah, that's what I went with. They have it for the R44 Cadet. Be mindful, I think the R44 has two different ones. There's the Cadet, then there's the R44-2, which I think is pertaining to the Ravens and the Mariners, I believe. Yeah, something like that. I'm not extremely familiar with the 44s. I've only flown them twice. So that's how you get to the POH information. So if you want to like print it out yourself, put it in your own binder, publications, helicopter POH, or if you just want to buy the POH outright, shop POHs and manuals. Okay. We did that. Sectional chart. Another thing you can find on Sporties. If you go to sectional, I really wanted to show this part off. Sectional chart. So I'm not sure, I saw this earlier, I'm not entirely sure what a sectional training chart is. I could buy it and report back, but not too sure just yet. What you're looking for is a VFR sectional chart. Now you see right here it has dates. VFR sectional charts are updated every 56 days, so they do expire. Because, you know, there are landmarks and stuff that change. It'll look like this, like when it's closed up, you can open up, it's this giant VFR sectional map. And it's got all different parts of the United States. So, looking over here, that's how you buy it off their website. Really cheap, what did it say, like $9, something like that? For me, like, see, it'll show like all the major areas. In my case, I would go down to Houston, because that's where I live. Chart only, or I've never done this. I've actually always bought my charts from this store that's at my airfield, but I think you can just right here with subscription. The price doesn't change. I'm sure it shows something at checkout, but you can click. Don't forget to put how many you want. You put 1 or more if you want. But yeah, current chart only. 1. $9. And yeah, they'll mail it to you. Up next is the chart supplement. The chart supplement is pretty important because this will give you airport information. And that is something that you're really going to want. Yeah, the first one. So there's only a few different ones. In my case, I would get South Central. So, yeah, SC. You're looking for those 2 letters at the end. So, like, NW, it's probably like Northwest. Yeah, Northwest, up at like Idaho, Oregon, Washington. Northeast, North Central. There's East Central. Interesting. But in my case, I would be getting South Central. And these are actually a little cheaper, $7. These are like an actual book. So I actually find that kind of interesting that it's cheaper. Because I think that's more paper and more work to manufacture, but whatever. Current chart only, and 1. That will be of great use, because it gives you like every tiny bit of information. I would highly recommend buying it and like looking at local airports near you, kind of get familiar with it. Cool. So we got sectional, we got chart supplement, E6B, flight computer, and plotter. So this is going to be when you're making a flight plan. The E6B is actually a very crazy invention. It was made in World War II by this lieutenant. I'm sure if you do end up going to flight school, you'll hear all about it. Mine looks kind of, I mean, they all do the same thing. I'm sure some might have like some more functionality, I guess. But yeah, why is he so expensive? You do not need an expensive one. This is what you need. Like, mine, looking at mine right now, mine's not even ASA. Mine's by Jeppesen, a Boeing company. Here, if I go to this, Amazon E6B. Yeah. I mean, really anything that looks like these, it's an E6B. It's gonna work. And a plotter is just this thing that kind of, some of them I think come with it, others don't. Sometimes you have to buy it separately. Like you could probably put E6B with Aviation Plotter and E6B. Yeah, so it kind of comes with both of them. This is what the plotter is. And your school will show you how to use that. Pretty cool. Alright, last but not least, you will need money. Flight school is not cheap. When I was actually making this slide, I put an amount and thought that's not entirely true. It's going to vary from student to student. How often do you study? How often do you fly? How, like, are there things that need to be retaught? Like, the more that you just get through it and the better you retain information and study, the better. The last thing you want is to be spending more money on stuff for the school to reteach you. Like, don't get me wrong, I was not the brightest star in high school or college, but I had to force myself to come to terms with studying in flight school because I'd wanted to be a pilot since I was a kid, and studying, like, or lack thereof, was kind of holding me back. So I got the highlighters out, got the sticky notes out, and I just went to town. I just started reading the FAR/AIM, started reading my POH, and I started reading the PHAC. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, what I studied was the FAR/AIM and the POH more than anything else. I studied some symbols on the sectional chart, and I studied weather, which that's like something else, like Aviation Weather Center. I didn't really put this because it's not like a product that you buy. I'm gonna cover it in another video. But I just said it. Yeah, we'll cover it in another video. Aviation Weather Center. But yeah, that was something else I studied. But back to the point, money. I spent about $22,000 on my private pilot's license. On here, I have at least $25,000, which isn't a terrible idea, but I was only able to fly twice a week. I work a full-time job. Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 hours a day, just wasn't realistic for me. So I had to do what I had to do. It took me 1 year and 10 days to the day to get my private pilot's license, flying usually about 1 to 2 times a week. And yeah, it's about $22,000 out of pocket. Also, I'm sure you saw it, you've seen it, but the little star on some of these, like chart supplement, sectional chart, your POH. The POH doesn't really have a latest edition, but it does have some pages that'll get updated. Like if we go here, or it has revisions, I'm sorry. If you go to publications, R22, POH, I know the site's slow, we're trying. You'll see right here, revision files. So some part of this book, the R22 Pilot's Operating Handbook, was revised at some point in February of this year. And I think it was actually in 2 or 3 different sections. I think it was in general, and I don't remember the other ones. But I'm pretty sure general was in there. But yeah, PHAC doesn't really matter, barely changes. The FAR/AIM changes with something little, usually each year. And yeah, that's really about it. This, I maybe could have gone over first, like I mentioned, but I didn't. So if you're really interested, I didn't do this, like I said before, but I hear a lot of people really benefit from it. It helps them really make their decision if they want to get started, is take a discovery flight. Discovery flight's cool. I haven't done it, but I've seen people do it. You go up with an instructor. I think it's usually about 30 minutes, and I think it's like a couple of $100. And I think the instructor just takes you around, I think, the traffic pattern a little bit. And if I remember right, I think they might even let the student mess with the controls. I'm not too sure. Like I said, never done it, but I think. Requirements. As a student, the school is going to go over basically this with you, because these are legal requirements. To fly, you will need, as a student, you will need a photo ID, so like driver's license, student certificate. At that point, you can almost call yourself a pilot, because I always saw it as student pilot's license. It's like, okay, cool. Don't let that get to your head, though. It's just a student certificate. Third class medical. I guess I can kind of go over that. Basically, you'll need to find, like, an aviation medical clinic, basically. Examiner, that's the word. Like me, Dr. Schumacher, that's the one I always go to. Easy. Right down the street from me. And it's just, really, that's all you're doing. It's a really easy physical. Like, I already have my second class, and it was very similar to getting the third class. As far as 73 for designated helicopter, the school, I'm 99% sure, is just required to do this by law. They just have to give you, it's almost like, what would you call an SFAR 73 for the R22? It's almost like a verbal waiver. Basically, they read off like a PowerPoint to you of the potential dangers of like stuff that could happen. Not that it really is likely by any means, but it's like, hey, this is what vortex ring state is. So, like, if we're falling and if I don't know what I'm doing, we're gonna die, basically. But that stuff never happens. They're just required to like read it. They're required to let the customer know of the dangers. Well, I hope that this has been kind of beneficial. I'd like to make helicopter videos. What better way to start out than by going over stuff to start your private pilot's license? So, yeah, sorry my voice is parched. I've been talking for a minute. My throat's dry. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you checking it out. And, hey, welcome to the world of helicopters. And, yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Fly safe.